Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Estate of the Golden Age Homes. And today we have something very interesting for you guys. We have this old age topic called renting versus buying in Nigeria, which one is more better? And also I have a special guest with me on this stage, but for that I'm going to introduce him first before diving into the topic itself. So I have here with me the Managing Director of Golden Age Homes, Mr. Kenny. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So today we're going to be talking about renting versus buying in Nigeria, which one is more better. We need you to shed more light on this for us and for our viewers. We'll also be asking you some questions related to that. So, sir, to start with, what do you have to say about renting versus buying in Nigeria generally?
Well, thank you for that question. It's a very, very good question.
You're welcome,
And
sir.
I think the both are beautiful. Yes, it depends on some factors actually.
Okay, so
So, firstly, I will talk about the financial capacity. Yes. And, buying property seems to be more better. Do you understand?
than
But
renting
than renting. But actually, if you don't have the capacity to buy a property, then you have no option than for you to
to
rent.
rent.
Do you understand? And looking at the buying of properties, it actually gives you room to have a generational wealth. Do you understand? Because buying, you are claiming an ownership of the property,
So,
which the value actually appreciates along with time. Do you understand? Which finally will bring a huge return on your investment. You can later buy, rent, live in it, and flip it, go to another place. You are
so sir,
creating
you're
wealth.
saying we can generate wealth
Yeah,
by buying properties?
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. But when it comes to renting, like what I said first, that if you are not financially
Capable.
capable to get the property of your own, then you have
And
to
opting
rent.
for renting.
Do you understand? And let me shock you,
Okay,
there
sir.
are rich men that can afford property. Yes, there are rich men that can afford to buy property,
Property.
and they even decide to rent a property because of location. Do you understand? Perhaps maybe they could afford to buy a property in a local area,
Not the
not like,
civilized
but they have
developing
the intention of staying in a civilized area,
area.
like here in Ibadan now. Okay, for example, you want to stay along, let me say, all these express roads, the suburbs, Ibadan suburbs. You have the financial capacity to build a property there and stay in it, but yet your spirit lives inside
It
the main estate,
develops
in a developed estate like
estate.
Jericho. Do you understand? So
Yes,
they
sir.
could afford it. In fact, I have met with some people that they have properties, but very, very far inside to the place
In
of their work,
localized
in a
area.
localized, they rented it out. In fact, they are using the rent, the income,
Income.
the rental income to
Pay back their
pay
own
back their
rent
whole
in the
rent.
developed area.
Do you understand? So it has is a bit of the way it has two facade to this thing. Do you understand? So, but like I said, both are good depending on your financial capability.
Okay, but sir,
Yes.
which one is better?
Well, personally, I would prefer buying a property than renting. Do you understand? Buying a property than renting. You have the ability to buy a property, you buy it. If in fact you may not even live in it. Do you understand? You can still rent it out. Just like I said, you rent it out. You are seeing some income from there
And
to
you're
offset
using it
your bills. Do you understand? You can even be staying in a rented apartment too. Do you understand? So, but the main thing is just that have a property, own your property to your name. Do you understand? Because there's a prestige that comes along with that.
Even while you are renting, you can still decide to own a property to your
Yes,
own name
yes,
also.
that's just it. That's the synergy. Even while you are renting, do you understand? I have some people that have their property here in Ibadan. They work in Lagos. They rented the property there. Do you understand? So one is giving them the
And I think the
financial support.
prices in Ibadan compared to Lagos, I think Lagos is
Yes,
more
yes,
expensive.
sure, yes, yes. Even abroad, We have a lot of people stays in abroad. They have their property here rented out. They are landlords here and they are tenant there. But they have a property owned on their name.
So what Oga is saying right now is you can still be a landlord and also be a tenant.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Because if you are staying in a rented apartment, you are paying rent. Do you understand? It's not adding up to any return on investment. You're only investing in the landlord's pocket.
Oh.
Do you understand? But if you have a property to your name, you have created an investment platform for yourself that is bringing income, and the property you bought to your name is also appreciating in value. Do you understand? So that's so important. It's so important. If you have the capacity to buy a property in your name, even if it's in a local area,
even if it's in your village,
do you understand? So it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Thank you so much, sir. You already explained most things we want to hear. So we just have a few questions for you, sir. Okay. What are the different requirements and risks involving renting versus buying as an individual or for an individual?
The risk?
Yes, or maybe what they need to know or requirements involved.
Yes, well, to me, people may have different reasons for renting. Do you understand? Just like what we've been trying to emphasize, that financially you may not be buoyant to get a property. Do you understand? Some people also to save their business. Do you understand? Because and different categories. If I used to tell my people, some people that for an entrepreneur, that you source for a capital to run a business, and at a point you just carry all the capital on a building. You understand? There's something must suffer for that. Do you understand? So for a person that is renting, you still have the ability to use funds in a polite way if you are sensible enough to use it. Do you understand? To run investment. Do you understand?
For example, you mentioned an entrepreneur that used money to build a property. Yes. So now that's like a risk involved. Like the risk is that she might actually lose the capital she.
What I'm trying to say is that let me place it right, because it depends on what you place as priority and your planning and your budget. Do you understand? So if you have a proper planning, you can, as an entrepreneur, you use your profit, business people use your profit to build gradually. Do you understand? And then
finally, let's just say the investment you get to be more than at the end when you get a good investment.
Yes. And another thing is that there are always risks in buying property, but if you can make sure that all the loose ends are well tightened up by verifying yourself, verifying the property,
making good inquiries.
Yes. I think that one is better. But renting, if you just see the good house, you
go for it.
You go for it, and you look at the environment and all those
so
things.
That means there's more risk when buying than when renting.
If the risk are well looked into,
they can be avoided.
Yeah, they can be avoided, sure.
Thank you, sir. So is there a right time to buy a property as an individual, or let's just say, is there a particular age to own a property for anybody? Let's say maybe 25, 22, or can anybody own a property? Can a child own a property?
Yes. Yes. A child can own a property. Okay. So parents can buy a property in their child's name, and they start creating a generational wealth for that family. Do you understand? So there's no age where you cannot own a property. Either by you inherit it.
Because some people are always saying, oh, when you get to the age of 25 or 30 and you don't have a property, what are you doing with your life?
No, well, I don't know. It depends on the environment you find yourself. Do you understand? Like environment in Nigeria now, you cannot, because you want to own a property to your name, you now delve into what is not right. So, but when the right time comes and you feel you have the financial ability. In fact, you may not even have the outright payment to pay at once. You can go on installment payment, probably from your little savings. You pay on installment payments with the company. give me so I can pay within 2 years, I can pay within so many landlord, so many landowners own a property to their name via that method. Do you understand? By paying on installment. So there is no age to that. So when you just have your phone, and it depends also on the orientation. Do you understand? Because you see a lot of youths today, what they are exposed to is pleasure and all those things. So it depends on
Your own
orientation.
as an
Probably maybe
individual
you inherited from your parents, maybe you have brothers and sisters that
around
that advise you rightly. Okay, if you have this money, tie
use this
something
to get
that use it,
something.
tie something down. Land property is okay. Buy a house, kind
So,
of
sir,
thing.
what's your opinion about this? Thank you for that other one, sir.
Okay.
But, sir, what's your opinion about people that say, oh, you have to, as for me, I have to own a car before buying any land or property in anywhere?
Okay, well, I own a car before I bought a property.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because I look at my as in environment where I work. I look at what can be more convenient for me to be efficient in my job. Do you understand? I look at what can be efficient for me to hold my family together. So I got a car first. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it depends, because I didn't get the car for pleasure. Do you understand?
Depends
So
on what you want to use it
yes,
for.
yes. So many say car is a liability. Well, for me, it was not a liability, and it will never be a liability, because I will not buy it for pleasure. Do you understand? And I don't do more than my capacity. So I bought a car that is useful for me at the right time, and when the right time came, I also got a lot of properties now, a lot. Do you understand? Because it's the right time.
So how fast can a property appreciate? When someone gets a property, how fast can it appreciate?
Yes, I think one of the main things to consider in getting a property is a location. Yes, a location is very important. Do you understand? And when you get the right property in the right location, do you understand? You leave the rest. Development will definitely come. Do you understand? And once development comes, statistically, we have a figure that, okay, a good land position in a good location should appreciate with 30-35% to 40% per annum. Do you understand? At the minimum. Do you understand? We have property. In fact, I've sold, I'm a realtor.
Yes,
so I've sold a property within 3 months, and I made over 70%.
Within 3
Within
months.
3 months. Because why? The property was sitting in a very good location. Do you understand? And document verified, So if you make sure that you get a property
In a developed
in a
area.
developed area,
Or what if you feel like, okay, this area is definitely going to develop in
yes,
few years.
in few years of you've had a news, you've had some news about that development coming to that area, you quickly get there before people get there. Do you understand?
Because I think by the time people get there, it will be
more exactly
higher.
In fact, you buy it very cheap. Do you understand? Very cheap. And you see, once it is in a good location and genuine land, well documented, leave the rest. It will appreciate 100.
Okay,
It's
sir.
automated.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming to the show, and thank you for enlightening us.
Thank you so much.
So, sir, one last question.
Okay.
The very last one. Which gives more freedom, renting or buying?
Of course, buying. Of course, 100. In fact, 200%.
Okay.
It gives more freedom. Yes.
Okay. So that's it. We've heard from our managing director of Golden Age Homes, and also, so the smarter the option, I think the higher the investment and the profits. Yeah. So everything depends on your finances and your own. Maybe the people you surround yourself with as an individual, based on what he said.
Yes.
So thank you. Watch out for the next episode. Kindly like, subscribe, and